Last month I had the most transformative and spiritual experience of my life, and this all took place at a festival you might have heard of, Lightning in a Bottle. It's basically a big spiritual orgy of 20,000 people. Well, not a literal orgy. Essentially 20,000 people gathered together. Most have the intention to expand their consciousness, and you go and you camp out for 4 or 5 days. You deck your camp out with all the trippy tapestries you can get your hands on, and during the day there's workshops, lectures, meditations, sound healings, a whole bunch of other things you can partake in. And at night it's kind of more of a ravey scene. It's super fun. The nights are spiritual in their own way. There's just incredible potential to grow spiritually at this festival because you have thousands and thousands of people with that same intention and so many ways of doing that. But however much you do grow at LIB depends on what you choose to do there. You can go and ditch most of the talks and meditations and get fucked up all weekend and have fun. Or you can go with strong intentions to grow spiritually, and you will probably see results. For example, I went the previous year and it was for sure the most fun I've ever had in my life. But this year was different. I went with really strong intentions, some to get over some anxieties I've been feeling in my life the previous couple years, and just to generally expand my consciousness. And holy shit did I see results. I grew so much, it was insanely transformative. I was constantly learning at the festival by meeting new people and by the events that I was attending, but there were a few specifically enlightening experiences I had, and I'm so thankful that I was able to capture those on camera. So that's what I'm mainly going to be talking about in this video, but before I get into that, I put together like a 2-minute little vloggy thing so you can get a general idea of the festival and how fucking fun it is. Enjoy. So we're at our 3rd day at the festival, and the longer you're in it, like the trippier it gets, because the longer people are just like away from normal society. Yeah. And like, it's like forgetting the rules. Yeah, and more people have already tripped on psychedelics and are just like way in it. It just gets wonkier by the minute. So you had a good connection with someone last night? Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite parts of this festival is that you can go up to almost anybody, start talking to them, and it feels like you've known them for 10 years and you're like best friends. It makes you realize how much, like when you meet people in normal life, like how much of a persona people are putting on, trying to act a certain way when you're just meeting someone new. Yeah, people like play these games, you know. They play games. Here, when you talk to someone, it's actually like you're genuinely talking to them. True nature, you know, everyone's connecting with that. That's so beautiful to experience. I love it. You want to be on my YouTube video really quick?
Oh, real quick, yeah, okay. Let's go.
So I'll show you the painting in just a second, but this guy literally painted one of the best paintings I've seen in my entire life.
It's my right hand.
I swear to God, I was telling him last night, like, it's so crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah. MAPS, I believe, is the global leader in psychedelic studies. And I actually went to a MAPS talk at LIB a couple days ago.
Educate your family and peers in a language they can understand. Educate people here.
So before I get into the first real heart-opening experience I had there, I need to give a little backstory on my life purpose. So what I feel most called to do in life is to vlog and to capture and broadcast this crazy consciousness shift that's going on in the world. I want to raise the vibrations of society. I want to spread this conscious movement. I want to show these spiritual things that are happening in society, such as things like the Lightning in a Bottle Festival. It's this really insane spiritual anomaly that's happening all over the world. And every day for the past 2 years of my life, I've been trying to think of ways I could capture some kind of spiritual event or spiritual conversations or something. And I know I won't feel fulfilled in my life until I can do that. And I believe my main vehicle of doing that is YouTube. So I was at this one art exhibition at LIB, and I overheard this girl talking about this DMT experience that she had. So I thought I'd just ask her if she'd be willing to talk about it on camera, and she said she was. Are you okay with that being on YouTube or not? Yeah, sweet. So I recorded her talking about her DMT experience, and then we got into some other spiritual conversations.
I tried DMT for my first time at Swanee in Florida.
We were talking about how being spiritual, especially if you don't have like-minded friends, can be really hard if you're thinking so existentially and bigger picture and spiritually. It can be confusing or anxiety-provoking. It could even cause depression, and that's totally what happened to me. I went through some really hard anxiety and depression because of the existential thinking that I was doing. It definitely got better as I met more and more spiritual friends.
All you need to do right now is just sink into your present life, this reality.
I think for all of us that are riding this insane wave of energy, right now is the time for us to take all the knowledge that we've learned from existence, bring it back, ground ourselves in this life, focus on stuff, and just integrate what we learn into society.
That divine pool of wisdom.
That's what
we
we're all
have
going through right
access to.
now.
Yeah, sink into this reality, take what you know and you're accessing, and use it in this life, because this is a really special lifetime for you and the people around you. This is the time of rising consciousness.
But that conversation I had with her was so meaningful to me and so impactful, because I just felt the last 2 years of my life come full circle. In the last couple years, I've been through a lot of anxiety and depression. A lot of it had to do with this existential and spiritual thinking that I've been doing, and it all felt so worth it at that time, because what I feel most called to do in life is to talk about and broadcast this kind of spirituality. And having gone through some of the worst of it, I'd be better at doing that. I can help guide people or shed some wisdom if someone's going through something similar. So all the suffering I've been doing just felt so worth it, and I saw so clearly how those experiences are now more beneficial than they were detrimental to my life in the long run. And I did shed some tears.
You're not alone.
Thank you.
You're not insane. I'm not insane. We're just experiencing the waves. They're beautiful.
You too. Thank you. Before any of this stuff, I just felt like there was some bigger scheme that I was missing, but I so found it. This is it. It's insane. Don't make fun. It was intense. What happened after my conversation with DMT Girl was the most synchronistic moment of my entire life. The previous day at LIB, I had made friends with this artist, and we were hanging out for a couple hours just talking. She was really cool. And after I talked with DMT Girl and had this insane experience of the last 2 years of my life coming full circle, I ran into the artist, and before I could say anything, she said, "I had the most insane experience." She said, "Oh my god, I feel like my life came full circle," and this and that. And we got to talking about both of our experiences, and they lined up so perfectly. There were 100 small details that completely lined up beyond any kind of coincidence that I could think of. It was just a mindfuck that we had the same exact experience, basically. But not only that, we had the same exact experience at the same time. And then right after that, we ran into each other at a random spot in a sea of 20,000 people. It was a mindfuck, to say the least. But on the other hand, I kind of wasn't surprised, because a lot of synchronistic things happen at LIB, because I don't know why. I guess everyone's just on a really high level of consciousness there. Chris, why do synchronistic moments happen at LIB all the time?
Well...
Wait, can you come say that on camera? If you want to, you can stay there. It doesn't matter.
Should
you got
scoot, or should I just stay here?
Just sit. So yeah, why do synchronistic moments happen at LIB all the time?
I'd say it's because one of the fundamental laws of our universe is like attracts like, basically the law of gravity. So you'll attract to one another person who's on your same wavelength, and since LIB is such a high vibe place, that process, which already happens in everyday life, will happen much, much quicker in LIB because it's just a higher vibrational place. And the higher vibrational setting you're in, the faster things will kind of happen. So you just run into people who you're meant to run into like that, like 2 seconds. Versus in normal society, it takes quite a while. Like this one pranayama breathing technique, Kundalini activation class.
I'm going to get to that later in the talk.
Yeah, okay.
But thank you. Go away.
Cool.
So me and the artist were talking for a good 2-3 hours. And after that, it must have been like 3 or 4 a.m. And I was not ready to go to bed. I was just walking around looking at the art exhibits, talking to the people that were still awake. And I wandered into one of the stages at LIB. And no one was performing because it was like 4 or 5 a.m. The sun was actually coming up, so it must have been around 5 or 6. And there was one other person at this stage just hanging out for some reason. And I got to talking with him, and turned out he was a really spiritual guy. And our conversation, on top of the crazy synchronistic and spiritual events that happened earlier that night, I was just in an extremely philosophical headspace. So after me and the guy that was at the stage were talking for an hour or so, I was just sitting down, meditating on everything, just looking around in a very clear headspace. I just started cracking up. I just started cracking the fuck up out of nowhere. I couldn't pinpoint why I was laughing, but I knew that the laughter was because of some kind of deep truth that I saw about reality. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but I knew it was something fundamental about the universe. But luckily, the one other guy that was there was able to guide me through this experience, and I call it the cosmic joke awakening experience. Well, I didn't really coin that term. It's happened to a lot of people. I'll throw some links in the description about other people who have had a very similar experience.
It's important to laugh because the truth is fucking ridiculous. At least simple.
Especially the big cosmic joke.
What's that all about for you? What does that mean for you?
I don't know. I just laughed at it, but it's hard to know what it is.
What does that word cosmic joke mean to you?
Just, there's something funny at the core of existence.
What is the joke?
I don't know.
Tell it to the camera.
We go deeper.
Tell it to yourself.
When laughter.
I don't know where it's from. I don't know why. Like, what is it? I mean, like, there's something funny.
I'll tell you what it is. So it's like this. It's like that. And that's what's so funny about it. You think it's so many different things, and then it's just like that.
Just that.
And then it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And then it's like so ridiculous that we thought it was something so much more
Yeah.
insane.
Right. It's just that.
And then it's like so insane that it's like funny.
Yeah.
You can't do anything but just laugh because we've been tricking ourselves the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's what's funny. Like, we realized like none of us ever had it figured out. Like, we try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's really just so simple.
Yeah.
And it's so benevolent. It's so loving. It's so forgiving. It's so beautiful. And it just loves us so much. I just want us to laugh.
Yeah.
It's just like we can laugh. And we can cry. And we can feel all these feelings. What are you feeling right now? Be with it first, without needing to think about
I realized how simple life is. I mean, I'm very aware of how little I understand about the universe, but I saw how we always trick ourselves into thinking that this whole experience is something crazy and we have no idea what the meaning of it all is, and we think it's something bad or we don't know. But all we need to do, all it is an expression of love and consciousness, and we just need to put out as much love as we can, and that is just the best thing to do. That's kind of the meaning of it all, is at least what I felt like at that time. It was so simple and so in my face and so funny, because my whole life and almost everybody else's lives, they keep tricking themselves into thinking that it's something different, yet it's so simple. It's right here. This is it.
Just fucking explore, fucking see. Just try. And you don't have to. There's no wrong or right way to do it. There's never any pressure. There's never any rush. But you quantum leap when you follow your heart. You enter new realities where love becomes so obvious that you can't help but cry and laugh and scream and sing and love about how you could have ever thought it was something else. And then it's all good though, because the laughter just releases all that bullshit we've been holding on to. So don't forget to, hey, yeah. So everyone, repeat after us. I love you so much. I love you so wholly and completely. Just cause that's what the heart does. That's what we're here to do. So just love yourself, please, because you deserve it completely. We're all in it, here to love, here to remember love. That's why we're here. Nothing else matters. And it's gonna sound like cliche bullshit until you experience it, and then you laugh. Because it's so simple. These festivals show us what we can do when we give ourselves permission, when we come intentionally to love one another. This is where the world is going. There's a lot of people that just are awakening to love. This time is gonna go down in the history books.
Oh yeah.
There's an awakening happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's the human healing right now. It's bringing light to the darkness, bringing consciousness, bringing awareness, presence, recognition. Love, 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 love. Fuck anything else. Fuck any voice in your head that says something else. And of course, there's many intricacies to it and dimensions to explore, which is the fun of it, which is why this whole universe, I believe, was created to explore the different infinite dimensions and faces that are here to be loved, so that we can love even bigger. The more things there are to love, the more fucking love can experience itself. The more love there is, you can create from this place. You always have permission. It's always just you. It's always just you. So learn to give yourself the love that the world wasn't able to give you, so that you can give that out to the world. Let's do it. We out here. It's beautiful. It's happening. I love us so much. Thank you.
After the whole cosmic joke experience, I was in this insanely ego-dissolved state. It was like there was 2% of my ego left, just enough for me to keep walking around and talking. And it just felt like the whole universal consciousness was just pinpointed in my head and almost just looking through my eyes like a clear window with no ego in the way. It was crazy. I have completely merged with the universe. It felt like I grounded this ego death experience. It was very interesting. Here, Chris. So yeah, I was walking around in that state for a couple hours, and I know he's been in some very deep states, so I was really excited to tell him about it. Yeah, tell him when I told you how I woke you up.
So I'm sleeping in my tent. It's probably like I don't know, 7 in the morning, and he just comes in, face is super sweaty, red and sunburnt, and he's just like, Chris, I just had the most amazing, mind-blowing, ego-death, transformative experience, Chris. Oh my god, I like aligned with the universe completely, and I was like, I'm sleeping, dude. I'm excited for you, but let me sleep.
Yeah, I thought you were like pissed or thought I was going crazy because he was just like not having it really.
It's tired.
But he was just tired. And in that experience, when I was in that state, it was really interesting. It was like I didn't want to talk unless I felt called to, or unless there was a good reason to. I feel like you'd be able to explain that kind of state.
Well, yeah, you're in an introspective state. And whenever you talk to anyone else, you kind of align with their energy, and it brings you out of your introspective state. So
I got no sleep that night, and I went walking around a little more. I'm very used to having little sleep. I have the worst insomnia. And I was hanging out at the main stage where the lectures and guided meditations are, and I was right about to go to my camp to try to sleep until I randomly see Chris walk in. And what was the event called? What was his name? Guy something? The guided meditation guy.
Oh, Jaidev Singh.
Jaidev Singh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris convinced me, even though I was insanely tired, to stay for this event. This guru was giving a guided meditation, and I was about to go home, but thank God I stayed. That was for sure one of the top 3 crazy transformative experiences I had at the festival. It was this guided meditation. There were hand movements and breath works that you do. Was it a Kundalini meditation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started taking part in this just thinking it was this guided meditation, which I was happy about. I always loved those. And I just started doing the breath works and the hand movements, and 30 seconds in, I just start fucking bawling my eyes out.
Relax. Meditate. For the evening. Alright. So, you ready? So you're like this. The pinky and ring are held down by the thumb. Jupiter and Saturn, which is index and middle, are out. And here's what you're gonna do. It's gonna be an O-shaped mouth, and it's gonna be 3 to 4 capacity. This will give you a new nervous system, but at a good. Stretch your legs out for a moment. How are you feeling so far? Okay, almost there.
Want water?
It's an art form, alright? How do we make the aura shine? And what's gonna happen, your eyes are closed, and you're gonna inhale, and the left hand's on top of the right.
This is what you call a transformative
and then
festival.
you exhale, it comes down here. Okay?
It was crazy, but it was a really good kind of crying. And there was some sadness to it in a way, because it felt like anxieties and sadnesses buried deep in my mind were being released. So it felt really good. It felt like I was just releasing so much from within. But I was just crying and crying like really intensely. And I'd turn to Chris and go like, oh my god, this is amazing. Turn back and just continue crying. Yeah. You were crying too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We definitely were both crying. We looked at each other and were just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then I was crying for like a good hour or so. And later that day, after all those emotional releases I had, especially the guided meditation, I meditated a lot that day, and I felt my mind truly clear and present for the first time in months.
And I just came back from India for a month. I was in Rishikesh, which is like the holy city of India.
Mm-hmm.
This place had better vibes than Rishikesh. And Rishikesh is hard to beat. Rishikesh had the best vibes I've ever seen. And then I immediately go to LIB, blew Rishikesh away. Totally surprised.
What about Beyond Wonderland?
Fuck Beyond Wonderland.
And honestly, one of the main things I miss about being at LIB is constantly hearing electronic music. I love it. It just like always provides this really conscious or like high vibe energy. So I want to talk a little bit about how I was feeling after the festival and how I integrated some of the experiences that I went through. One of the most in-my-face effects I felt is that I actually felt like 30 pounds physically lighter. I kept telling you, like, I feel like I'm 120 pounds right now.
So basically after LIB, Jake's hand does not shake. It used to shake like crazy because he had so much anxiety in his body, but after the breath work and general vibe of LIB and releasing so much energy, his hand does not shake at all anymore.
Before the festival, it was actually a little bit frightening to meditate because I knew meditating would make me face what's in me. It would make bottled up emotions bubble up. But after LIB and the experiences that I went through, all those emotions surfaced. So after the festival, I was no longer afraid to meditate, and one of the integration practices I did was to not stop meditating. I've gone almost every day meditating, so nothing can really get bottled up anymore. My anxiety is significantly less. I still have some and experience some day to day, but it is insanely less. This festival was one of the most beneficial experiences I've ever been through. I also definitely have more energy after the festival. I guess because I have released a bunch of stuff that I've been dragging around with me my entire life, or especially the last couple years. So I've gotten rid of that, and there's less emotional baggage I'm lugging around wherever I go. So I know it's been a super long time since I've uploaded, but I am gonna try my best to be consistent with the uploads, because this is my favorite thing in life to do, is make videos like this. And with this kind of video, I'm just getting started because I want to document a lot of this conscious and spiritual shit that's going on. So leave a comment, tell me what you thought of the video. I'm going to give away a tapestry like this one. So just let me know in the comments if you want a tapestry, and I'll pick one random person, I'll send you one. So once again guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace.